Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to another half-hour segment. And as a few minutes ago, I'm here with Jesus on my right and Annie on my left, and we're going to continue. Annie, ask Jesus if he was born in Madrid.
Were you born in Madrid?
Yes, I was.
Okay, ask him if he is the youngest in the family.
Are you the youngest in the family? In your family?
Escucha la Y. Are you the youngest?
All
¿Cómo
right.
dices ice
Ice.
in Spanish?
Hielo.
Hielo. ¿Dices hielo o hielo?
Hielo.
Hielo. Younger.
Youngest. Okay. Or
Ask if he's
younger.
the youngest in the family.
Are you the youngest in
Que no.
the youngest?
Eso.
Are you the youngest in your family?
No, I'm not.
Ask if he's the oldest among the brothers and sisters.
Are you the oldest among your brothers and sisters?
Yes, I am.
He's the oldest, okay? And ask him how many brothers he has.
How many brothers do you have?
¿Por qué dices how many en vez de how?
How?
How.
How
¿Cómo
many?
se dice ahora?
Ahora? Now.
Now. No dices no.
No.
Dices now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say in English marrón?
Brown.
No dices brown?
No.
Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ¿cómo se dice vaca?
Cow.
No dices cow?
No.
Entonces, ¿por qué dices hoe?
How?
How. Además, hoe is a slang word for prostitute, so be careful, okay?
Okay.
All right. How. ¿Qué tal vaca marrón? Se puede decir how now, brown cow. How now, brown cow. How now es una forma rara, pero se dice. How now, brown cow? Repeat.
How now, brown cow?
Okay, good. Ask him how many brothers, que son hermanos varones, eh? Ask him how many brothers he has.
How many brothers do you have?
I have 2 brothers.
Which means he has one sister. Ask him how old his sister is.
How old your sister is?
Pregúnteselo.
How old is your sister?
She is 16.
All right, now tell me to ask him if she goes to school.
Does she go? No.
No, ask me. Tell me to ask him if she goes to school every day.
Richard, ask him if her sister,
His sister.
his sister, go to school every day.
No entendido.
No. Richard, ask him ask him if his sister go to school.
No entendido.
Goes to school every day.
Does your sister go to school every day?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do, or she does?
She does.
Yes, she does. Ask if his sister is a good student.
Does your sister a good student?
¿Dónde está el verbo?
Does your sister?
Does es un verbo auxiliar. ¿Dónde está el verbo?
Does your sister? No estoy.
Escucha, calla. Ask him if his sister is, el verbo es to be aquí. Ask him if his sister is a good student.
No. Is your sister a good student?
Good student, ¿qué es student?
Student.
Escucha, mira mi boca. Is your sister a good student? Good student, good student, good student, good student. Ask him if his sister is a good student.
Is your sister a good student?
Yes, she is.
Yes, ask him if his sister is intelligent.
Is your sister intelligent?
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. No te oigo bien.
Yes, she is.
All right. No te van a oír en la tele. Ask him how tall she is.
How tall?
How tall?
How tall your sister is?
Pregúntaselo.
Is your sister?
Ahí está. Repeat.
How tall is your sister?
¿Qué te pasa
No
hoy?
sé.
Ask him how tall his sister is.
How tall is your sister?
She is about 160. more or
About
less.
160. Ask him how much she weighs.
How much is she weigh?
Does she?
Does she weigh? Does she weighs? No. ¿Cómo has dicho? How much does she weigh?
Good.
I don't know.
Well, more or less. How much does she weigh? Does she weigh 60 kilos, 55 kilos? How much does she weigh?
I don't know, maybe 50 or...
Okay, she weighs?
She weighs 50.
50 kilos.
50 kilos.
That's very light. Ask me how much I weigh.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 80 kilos. Ask me how much Annie weighs. Ask me how much Annie weighs.
How much any weighs?
Pregúntamelo.
How much any weighs?
Eso es afirmando. Pregunta. ¿Dónde está el verbo auxiliar?
How much does any weigh?
Good. ¿Cómo se
Weight.
termina? Weigh.
Way.
Way, como manera, camino, way. Se pronuncia igual.
Okay.
How much does Annie weigh? Repeat.
How much does Annie weigh?
Annie weighs 54 kilos. Okay?
54.
Yeah. Ask Annie how much she weighs.
How much do you weigh?
You are right. I'm 54 kilos.
Really?
Really?
Okay, good. Now, ask me how much Jesus weighs.
How much does Jesus weigh?
Jesus weighs 71 kilos. Ask him how much he weighs.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 62, 63 kilos.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. He's quite
60,
light.
no, 70.
Okay.
72, 73.
Okay, ask him how tall he is.
How tall are you?
How tall are you?
I'm
1 meter.
1 meter 74, 75.
Okay, 1 meter 75. No hace falta añadir centímetros después. You're 1 meter 75. Tell him to ask me how tall I am.
Ask him how tall he is. How tall he is?
Good. Una vez más.
Ask him how tall he is.
Ask him how tall he is.
Ask him how tall he is.
How tall are you?
What does he want to know?
He wants to know how tall you are.
Good. Wow. Estoy orgullosísimo de ti. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm proud of you. I'm 1 meter 81. Bueno, 1 meter 80. Ya estoy bajando. All right? Old people get shorter. Okay? So I'm estoy un poco cascado ya. I'm 1 meter 80. 1 meter 80. Okay? And tell him to ask me how old I was when I came to Spain.
Ask him how old he was
How old he was.
when he came to Spain.
How old you were when?
No, es una pregunta. How old were you?
How old were you when you come to Spain?
Pasado.
Came. How old were you when you came to Spain?
What does he want to know?
He wants to know how old were you when you came to Spain.
He wants to know how old you were.
He wants to know how old you were when you came to Spain.
I was 20. Yeah. Yeah. Tell him to ask me what my first impression was of Spain.
Ask him
What?
what was his first... No. Espera.
Yeah.
Ask him
What?
what
His first?
his first... Sorry. Ask him what his first impression was when he came to Spain.
What
What was your first impression when you came to Spain?
My first impression when I came to Spain was that this was a very conservative country. Ask me why I thought it was conservative.
Why did you think that it was conservative?
What does she want to know?
Why?
She wants to know
She wants to know
why you thought
why you thought
it was.
it was a conservative country.
Yes, Annie wants to know why I thought Spain was a conservative country. Because when I came to Spain, I was expecting more colors. I was accustomed to Mexico. I was expecting more color. Okay? And everybody was wearing the same. The men wore blue suits or gray suits. Every student wore the same type of coat with the same type of buttons. It was a very conservative country when I came. And it still is today, in my opinion. And so I was surprised. I was expecting more. I was expecting the Spanish women with flowers in their hair and the men playing guitars. And, the typical flamenco style is the typical stereotype of Spain. And the bullfighting, ole, and people in the street. So no, I found the country a bit conservative. All right, now, tell her to ask me if I had trouble adapting.
Ask Richard if he had trouble adapting.
Perfecto.
Did you have trouble adapting?
No, I didn't. I didn't have any trouble adapting. No me costó trabajo adaptarme. I didn't have trouble adapting. Ask me why.
Why? Why it doesn't cost you? No, cost you no.
¿Pero por qué has cambiado de
No,
todo?
he cambiado
Escucha,
todo, sí, ya lo sé.
Escucha, no me costó trabajo adaptarme. I didn't have trouble adapting. I didn't have trouble adapting. Ask me why.
Why you didn't have trouble?
Pregúntamelo.
Why didn't you have trouble adapting?
Ahora sí. Why didn't you have trouble adapting? because I'm a very adaptable person, okay? I'm flexible. Ask me if I'm still a flexible person.
Are you still a flexible person?
What does she want to know?
She wants to know if you are flexible.
If you are
still a flexible person.
less. Ask me why I am less flexible now than before.
Why are you less flexible than before?
Because as you get older, you become less flexible, I think. And more conservative, more cranky. Ask me if I'm a cranky person.
Are you a cranky person?
What does he want to know?
He wants to know if you are a cranky person.
Cranky.
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 A little bit, yeah.
What does cranky mean?
Cascarrabias.
Okay.
Crank. Yeah, I've explained it on the TV before. Crank es una manivela. A crank. You turn a crank. Y de hecho, el cigüeñal del coche is the crank shaft. Se dice manivela, eje manivela. And you remember on the old cars, 100 years ago, they put a crank into the front to start the car. The person needed to get out of the car, go around to the front, put the crank in, and turn it. And the car started, the engine started running. So you needed a crank. But cranky, por alguna razón que desconozco, significa un poco, sobre todo los viejos nos pasa, que somos cada vez más cascarrabias y aguantamos menos las molestias y estas cosas. And ask me if I'm getting cranky.
Are you getting cranky?
What's the first letter in the alphabet?
Crane.
What's the first letter? A.
Cranky.
Yes, I am. I'm getting a little bit cranky. Okay. And tell Jesus to ask me how much longer I'm going to continue teaching English.
How long?
Tell him to ask me how much longer
Okay.
I'm going to continue teaching.
Ask him how much longer he's going to continue teaching English.
How much longer are you going to continue teaching English?
Until people tell me to stop. All right, I'll continue until I begin to lose my notion of reality. And then I'll stop. I think when my wife says, para ya. All right. I think. And ask me if my wife speaks English well.
Does your wife speak English well?
Uy,
No.
¿podrías repetir eso?
Does your wife speak English well?
What does she want to know?
She wants to know if
Your wife.
speaks
How does
speaks English well.
Good. All right, vamos a hacer esto una vez más.
Yeah.
Ask me if my wife speaks English well.
Does your wife speak English well?
What does she want to know?
She wants to know if your wife speaks English well.
It depends on your definition of speak. My wife understands English perfectly, but she doesn't speak perfectly. Ask me if I speak Spanish perfectly.
Do you speak Spanish perfectly?
What does he want to know?
He wants to know if you speak Spanish perfectly.
No, I don't. I communicate perfectly, but I don't speak perfectly. Ask me which is more important,
Which is more important?
to communicate perfectly. To speak perfectly is impossible, not even in your own language. Even in your own language, you don't speak perfectly because some days you say things more eloquently than other days. You have your eloquent days and your less eloquent days, even in your own language. So nobody really speaks their language at the optimum level all the time because it's not easy to express yourself well. But to communicate well means you achieve your objectives using a language as a vehicle for the achievement of those objectives. So yes, I communicate perfectly in Spanish, I think, but I don't speak the language perfectly. Ask me if my wife has a strong accent in English.
Does your wife have a strong,
¿Por qué Anne?
a strong,
Okay.
strong?
Does your wife
sorry.
have a strong accent
Have a strong accent in
English? What does she want to know?
She wants to know if your wife has a strong
No me pongas Anne.
a strong accent in English.
Okay. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have a strong accent in English. She has a Spanish accent when she speaks English, but it's not strong. Does your wife have a strong? Does your wife have a strong? Repeat.
Does your wife have a strong
Accent.
accent?
Tenéis que practicar estas cosas porque Anne es strong. Estáis primero insertando una E delante de la S de strong y luego cambiando el artículo, que es curiosísimo. Suena rarísimo en inglés decir eso.
Yeah.
Okay. Does your wife have a strong accent? No, she doesn't. Ask me if my children have an accent when they speak English.
Does your
Tengo
children?
dos.
No. Do your children have accent when they
An accent.
an accent when they speak in English?
When they speak English.
What did you say in Spanish?
No, when they speak English.
When they speak English.
No, they don't. Ask me what kind of accent they have.
What kind of accent do they have?
Good. Habla sin mucha confianza. What kind of accent do they have? Repeat.
What kind of accent do they have?
Do they or do they?
Do they?
They have an American accent. Ask me if they have a Texas accent.
Do they have a Texas accent?
No, they don't. They have a standard American accent. Ask me if I have a Texas accent.
Do you have a Texas accent?
Very, very slight. Very, very slight. ¿Cómo se dice ligero?
Light?
Bueno, ¿cómo se dice ligero de peso?
Light.
Light. Ponme un S al principio.
Slight.
Eso es ligero figurativamente. Un ligero acento. Ya no es cuestión de peso físico. They have a slight accent. I have a slight Texas accent. All right? Very, very slight. People usually don't notice. Okay? Ask me if I have a Texas accent when I go back to Texas.
Do you have a Texas accent when you go back to Texas?
In a question of a few days, it begins to start. I start talking more like people in Texas and start alargando las palabras. Los tejanos alargan las palabras. This is a pencil. This is a pencil. It's typical American, standard, neutral American accent. This is a pencil. Los tejanos, theias is a pencil. 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 Alargan las sílabas. So often it's easy to understand Texas people because they speak slowly. This is a microphone and it's on the table in front of me. Okay, that's how they speak, okay? Ask me if I like the Texas accent.
Do you like the Texas accent?
Si miento o si me gusta. Do
Si-
you lie? Do you lie?
Do you like
Eso.
Do you like the Texas accent?
Texas.
Texas.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Jesus, ask me if I like the Mexican accent.
Do you like the Mexican accent?
In Spanish, yes. The Mexican accent, yes. All right, ándale pues. Voy a manejar el carro al estacionamiento. Okay. So, ask me if I have any Mexican friends.
Do you have any Mexican friends?
Well, Annie's Mexican. She's Mexican and Spanish, so I have one Mexican friend. Yes, I do. I have one or two Mexican friends. Okay. Ask me how many times I've been to Mexico.
How many times have you been to Mexico?
Just twice. I've been to Mexico twice. Okay. And ask me when the last time was I was there.
When was the last time you were there?
You were there. The last time I was there was in 1973, a long time ago. Ask me if I got sick when I went to Mexico.
Did you get sick when you went to Mexico?
La venganza de Montezuma.
Yeah, total.
No, I didn't. I
no?
didn't. No, I didn't. I got sick after. I went back to Texas and I got sick. Okay, so it was a delayed reaction. All right, all right. But ask me if I prefer the Mexican accent over the Castilian accent.
The okay. Do you prefer the Mexican accent or the Castilian accent?
Well, no lo he dicho así, pero es la misma idea. Escucha. Ask me if I prefer the Mexican accent over
Over.
the Spanish accent, the Castilian accent.
Okay. Do you prefer the Mexican accent over the Castilian accent?
No, not necessarily. I like both. Cultivated people in Mexico speak beautiful Spanish, beautiful, and I think both accents are fine. Perhaps the Castilian accent is better for certain type of theatrical things. The classical Castilian accent is very, very pretty, very beautiful when you hear it on the stage, in the escenario. For example, in Lope de Vega, it's much better to hear a Castilian accent in the Caballero de Olmedo, okay, than to hear a Mexican accent say, el arco iris pasa por el... Okay, it sounds better, Castilian accent. Okay, ask me what accent is my favorite in the Spanish-speaking world.
What's your
What?
What's your favorite accent in the Spanish-speaking world?
Strangely, I find the Catalan accent in Spanish funny. When I hear people speaking, a funny person with a Catalan accent, I like very much. But I think the Castilian accent is the one I prefer the most. And ask me if Annie has a Castilian accent. Does?
Does she has a?
Does she has or does she have?
Does she have a Castilian accent?
Well, she has a Madrid accent, not necessarily Castilian. Ask me if she has a car.
Does she has a car?
¿Por
Does
qué?
she have a car?
I don't know. Do you have a car?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Bueno, repitamos esto. Ask me if she has a car.
Does she have a car?
I don't know. Do you have a car?
Yes, I do.
Ask me if she has a cat at home.
Does she have a cat
At home?
at home?
I don't know. Do you have a cat at home?
No, I haven't.
No, I don't.
No, I
don't.
don't.
All right.
Me has despistado porque me has tirado de la silla.
Yeah, because you're not sitting right, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And ask me if I have a cat at home.
Do you have a cat at home?
No, I don't. Ask me if I have ever had a cat. Ask me if I have ever had a cat.
Have you ever
Have you ever had?
Have you ever had a cat?
No, I've never had a cat. Well, personally, my parents had a cat, or my sister had a cat, but I've never had a cat. Okay? Now, ask me if I have a dog.
Do you have a dog?
No, I don't. Ask me if Jesus has a dog.
Do you know if Jesus...
No. Keep the do you know. Ask me if Jesus has a dog.
Does Jesus have a dog?
I don't know. Do you have a dog?
No, I haven't. No, I don't.
Oh, Dios mío. Mira. Have you got a dog?
Yeah, I know.
No, I haven't. Ahora sí. Si yo digo have you got,
Yeah.
entonces sí. Pero si digo do you have, no, I don't. All right. Ask me if Jesus has a car.
Does Jesus have a car?
I don't know. Do you have a car?
No, I don't.
All right. Ask me if Jesus' sister has a car.
Does Jesus' sister have a car?
I don't know. Does your sister have a car?
No, she doesn't.
All right. And ask me how much time we have left.
How much time do we have left?
I don't know. How much time do we have left? We have 2 minutes left, according to the floor technician. All right, good. Now, ask me if Jesus has $1 million in the bank.
Does Jesus have $1 million in the bank?
Dollars? ¿Qué es?
Dollars. Dollars.
Do you have $1 million in the bank?
No, I haven't.
Do you have $1 million in the bank?
No, I haven't.
Do you have $1 million in the bank?
No, I don't.
Good. Do you have $1 million in your pocket?
No, I don't.
Do you have a house in Italy?
No, I don't.
Do you have a house in Madrid?
Yes, I do.
Good. Okay. Now, ask me if Jesus has a big house.
Does Jesus have a big house?
I don't know. Do you have a big house?
No, I haven't.
Do you have a big house?
No, I don't.
¿Qué te pasa con no I have? Mira, no I haven't.
No,
No I haven't es para el presente perfecto. ¿Has ido alguna vez a? Have you gone to Brazil this year? Yes or no?
No, I haven't.
All right.
I see.
Okay, good. Ahora bien, hay una forma, y voy a terminar esta clase con esto, entonces voy a hablar a la cámara. Entonces, si me traes la cámara. Do you have, tienes, la pregunta, ¿tienes casa en Madrid? Do you have a house in Madrid? ¿Tienes casa en Barcelona? Do you have a house in Barcelona? También podría yo decir, have you got? Que es otra forma alternativa de tener y es tremendamente corriente en todos los países de habla inglesa. Have you got a house in Madrid? Have you got a house in Barcelona? Es correctísimo. Y en ese caso sí, uno diría que pues sí, yes I have. Sin embargo, have you got es una forma irregular de un verbo tan importante como to have. Y cuando usamos have para consumición, to have a cup of water, to have lunch, to have dinner, siempre es do you have. Es incorrecto have you got. Y cuando hablamos en el pasado, remontamos a did. Did you have? No se dice en inglés, es incorrecto had you got. Entonces lo mejor es olvidaros de have you got, porque lo vais a entender cuando se usa por ahí, se va a usar mucho. Pero have you got es solo en el presente, tiempo presente, y solo para posesión, no para consumición. Okay? So, I recommend that you forget have you got, concentrate on do you have, Y en ese caso, el segundo verbo más importante del idioma, que es el verbo to have, después del verbo to be, lo convertimos en un verbo regular en el sentido de con do. Do you go? Do you play? Do you speak? Do you have? Okay? So do you have a house in Brazil?
No, I don't.
Good. All right. See you we'll be back in just a few minutes to continue. So don't go away.